Hope Channel, changing lives.
A good marriage is one where each partner secretly suspects they got the better deal. Did you hear that? A good marriage is one where each partner secretly suspects that they got the better deal. It's from an unknown person. We don't know the person. Once again, good afternoon and welcome to the program Wounds of the Heart. We are here to help you heal any wound that has been caused emotionally, psychologically, mentally. And on our program, we bring professionals and those who are prolific to come and share with us the ideas, knowledge, and understanding, so that we, our viewers, will also have a fair idea about whatever they are going through. But today, we are here to see how best our marriages will be sweeter and how we can marry in God's way. If you want to join the conversation on Facebook, we are live on Facebook, Hope TVGH, and also on YouTube, Hope TVGH. You can share your comments, you can ask your questions, and we'll have time to read them. Fabric by Slicker Freak. Slicker Freak on Facebook is Slicker Freak. On Instagram is Slicker Freak. If you want to have a business with Slicker Freak, they sell all kinds of fabrics. If you want to have a business with Slicker Freak, the contact is 0557 5355 852, 0557 355 852, and Slicker Freak is just a phone call away. They have delivery services too, so don't bother yourself going out to town to select what it can be given to you at your doorsteps. And if you want to help this program, if you want to invite Wounds of the Heart team to come to your church, your school, or whatever, or if you want to give us sponsorship for our program to grow, the contact is 0559 5355 54, 0559 5355 54. And after every program, if you have issues, if you have concerns, if you have questions, if you need help, the same contact will be beneficial. 0559 5355 54. And we would connect with you and will help out. That is what the program means. Mom, I have here today, we began the little things that causes divorce in a marriage, and I promise that we'll come again to talk about how beautiful marriage could be in God's way. Today we still have our Mama Matilda Emisa Arthur, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, who last time she led us through the little things that we call divorce. Today we are here also to discuss what is marriage and how we can marry in God's way. Ma'am, welcome and good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.
Ma'am, trust you're fine.
I'm well,
Thanks for hosting us once again too. Ma'am, the other day we met, we realized that a lot of things leads to divorce, especially when the items you mention, the things that our minds are not on, the toilet seat, it is a problem, and the way women also talk to their husband when they think they are on top of their game, stuff like that, it also lead to divorce and a whole lot. The questions that came, you also had time to answer those questions for our viewers to also hear. But today I want us to discuss how we need to marry in God's way. What should we do? How our marriages would leave the area of divorce into the area of longevity when it comes to marriage. What is marriage personally to you? What is marriage? Aside whatever people are, right, with your past experiences in marriage, what can you personally tell my viewers what marriage is?
Personally, I believe that marriage is two people who have seen each other and after studying each other know that they can make a life together, they can work out things together, they can live together. And if God also blesses them with children, they can bring up their children in a way that will give them a lifetime of joy.
Now I want you to say it again, because this is your your personal definition when it comes to marriage. So please, someone is writing.
Personally, for me, marriage is when two people decide that they have met and they have studied each other and they have realized that they can make a life together. And they can, the two of us, also work things together in such a way that live together in spite of everything that comes their way. And when God blesses them with children, the two of them can also bring up those children to his glory.
Two people is not same. It is two people, man and woman, not boy and girl. The other time she reiterates that point. Marriages are not for boys and girls. It's for man and a woman. So these two people are those we are talking about. And it said that who have gone through to understand maturely that they can settle, they can live life together. And so that is her personal definition when it comes to marriage. And all other things can be found in what she gave us about what marriage is. In Ghana, what are the types of marriages that we see? What do we accept as marriage in Ghana now?
In Ghana, there's the Islamic marriage. I don't know much about it.
For our brothers.
And but for us, the Christians and non-Christians, there is the traditional marriage. That's now we term engagement, which annoys me so much because it is not engagement. It's a traditional marriage. And they call it the customary marriage.
Customary marriage.
Customary marriage is the same as traditional marriage. It is a marriage, mind you, because it is the family of the man who is coming to the family of the woman to tell them that, first of all, the family of the man goes to the family of the woman to say, our son wants to marry your daughter. And so we are coming to tell you. They agree and give them a list of things they should do. And then that day they come and present those things to them and ask for the hand in marriage. That differs from tribe to tribe. It can be as simple as offering a bottle of drink and some money. Now we add a ring, we add the Bible, and we add even a hymn book.
Okay, exactly.
Traditionally, there was no ring. Traditionally, you add some money, that is called a dowry. And that is determined by the girls' people. You add some drinks. And then you add something for the mother. Because the understanding is you are coming to take the lady away. You need to appreciate the mother, appreciate the father, and appreciate her brothers. So it's called akonta sika. You are coming to take the lady from the brothers. So you give the akonta, your in-law,
brother-in-law,
some money, so as to, if you like, settle him for him to be able to
give the
sister away. So traditionally, this is what is done. But somewhere along the line, the list has grown to things like a suitcase full of things, sewing machine, whatnots and whatnots and whatnots. Yes, culture is dynamic. In the olden days, they asked for maybe utensils. Now, because of culture, we are asking for other things. So that is understood. But the amount of things and the amount of money is determined not even by tribes. It's determined by family to family. The same tribe, you'll find somebody saying, just give us a token of maybe 200 cedis. Some other person will say 5, another person will say 2,000. The thing is, add some money, but the amount of money is determined family by family. And even the drinks, originally it was just a token drinks. Now it can turn into 3 cartons of beer, 3 cartons of Fanta, 4 cartons of Coke, and all kinds of things. Traditionally, you just give something small in terms of clothing to show that you look after the woman. So maybe one have a piece of cloth or something. Now it has turned to 6 half pieces of cloth, 6 pants, 6 braziers, trinkets, whatnot, and so on. So what is done in the family then is the traditional marriage, the customary marriage.
Customary marriage, yeah.
And that marriage is accepted legally.
Legally, okay.
That marriage is legally binding. What has happened is that because of Christianity, when we do that home thing, we want to then go to church and bless the marriage. So it started with a simple go to church and bless the marriage. Now we are copying the abrofo. So we are turning our own marriage as engagement. As the man has engaged the woman. So what they go and do in the church is now the wedding. So we have confused the issue. But then you can, after your customary traditional marriage, go and do marriage of the ordinance. And that is when the registrar is coming to the church or to the hotel or to the court or whatever with the register where you will sign. And that signing is that you are now legalizing your marriage.
Okay.
So these are the different types of marriages.
So we have the Islamic, we have the customary that we call it
traditional marriage.
And we have the ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay, so in case you are getting along to preparing to get married, there's something Mom said about what we call the traditional, the customary. It is an acceptable legally in Ghana. We accept it. It is marriage. Don't look at someone who have about 24 bridegroom and groomsmen or whatever and think say 1 year say it is a problem. No. We want us to have a simple way to enjoy marriage that will never even bring any conflict whatsoever, that will enjoy the marriage. That is why we are here today. That is why we are discussing this thing. So we now know the types of marriages in Ghana. But I want to ask, ma'am, why did God institute marriage? Why did he institute marriage? Why did God bring marriage? Why?
God, when he created the earth, decided that there must be somebody on the earth, and that's how come Adam was put on the earth. But Adam was lonely and needed a companion. And God decided that I'll give Adam a companion. And because that companion was going to be a lifelong companion, that companion needed to be somebody that Adam not just liked, but then part of Adam. And when you read later on that it says, a man shall live and they'll become one.
One flesh.
So right from the beginning, the woman that God created for Adam was taken out of Adam and therefore was one with Adam.
Beautiful.
So it is not just coincidence that God says for that reason, a man shall leave his family and become one with a woman, because Adam and Eve were one.
We're one.
So marriage is an institution that God himself instituted. And it is a sacred institution. It's a sacred institution. God's hand is in it. God found it good that at some point a man should not live alone. And therefore a man should marry.
Exactly. So God instituted marriage for man not to be alone, and it was man and woman was created out from man to become one. It wasn't man and man was created out from man, or woman created out from woman. It was man and woman. That was what our Creator did. That was what God instituted. So now that is an acceptable marriage when you come to Ghana. Any other, it is not legally accepted. But you watch movies and you see the man running away with someone's daughter, getting pregnant, and coming back. Daddy, please, we are sorry. It is happening. I know guys who say if daddy doesn't accept, Mami it's happening. You rightly said that when family accepts that marriage, should we guys or women even propose the fact that if daddy and mommy is not in agreement with our relationship, let's get pregnant. Because when we get pregnant, we'll marry. What do you say about that? Should that lead good marriage? Should there be?
You see, because of man's nature, man is not perfect. Man's nature is lustful. And therefore, when man sees an attractive woman, man will go after that woman. Sometimes the heart goes ahead of the mind. The heart goes ahead of the mind. So it's the feelings of the man that comes to play and not a lot of thinking into it. There's nothing wrong with a man seeing a woman and says, I'm in love with that woman. I want to marry that woman. There's nothing wrong with it. But because of the way we are culturally and societally, and the fact that you are from a family, and the fact that in our tradition, marriage is a family affair, and it is your parents that go and marry for you, which is not just cultural, biblical. So that is why when you find somebody, you go and tell your parents that I'll find somebody I want to marry. In the olden days, the man's people would go and do their background check on the woman and find whether the woman is from a good family and so on and so forth before they agree that go into that. Now, a lot of that is not done. A lot of that is not done. It presupposes that the man has looked well. There are a few instances where the man will take the woman and for some reason, the mother or father will say, no, we don't want you to marry. Yes, it is primarily the man's duty to go and find a wife. But then, if the reasons your parents are given are good reasons, then you must listen to your parents. Because, for example, if the parents say, this girl that you are going to marry, the family is not a good family, and the father or the uncle or the mother was involved in something, and there is something attached to them, then you need to be careful. The least you can do is to find out if what mommy and daddy is saying is true, and come and say, yes, it's true, but this and this and this, or this. Because in our culture, you are married from one family to the other. If you do not get the blessing of your family, then you are in trouble. We find that in the Bible. So that is the reason. If, for example, your parents are just saying that because because the girl's father is a laborer, or the girl's father is a what do you call it, a mate, a lorry mate. So don't go and marry that person. Obviously, you know that these are not sound reasons. So for that reason, if you disobey them, I don't see anything wrong with it. But I will say that don't just disobey them. Find an elderly person, let the elderly person go and talk to them. Your disobey should not be damn the consequence and go. Let an elderly person go and talk to them and try and win them over. So my disobeying doesn't mean just walking away, but finding somebody to go. Because the fact that the lady's father is a cook or a trotro mate or a laborer, it's nothing. I know laborers' children who have doctorates. I know trotro mates' children who have made it. So you don't know the circumstance that made the father that. But you see, that laborer's daughter, that laborer has been able to educate their daughter. So that rather should tell you that.
Yes, it's a good home.
It's a good home. It's a good
home. Well, thank you so much. So we are not supposed to disobey our parents. If what they are saying you think is true, you can do your background search and check whether what they are saying is true. And let's seek other opinions and let's pray about it. After seeking opinions, pray about it, and let's ask God to lead us in making the rightful decision. Because marriages, because it was instituted by God, the devil doesn't like it. He is not interested in marriage. That's why he's bringing all those things to cause divorce in our marriages. So let's be mindful about when our parents say that, and don't ever propose the fact that let us get pregnant so that we'll marry after. No, God didn't institute marriage to be like that. Let us go through the due processes that we will get together and marriages will be beautiful. Now, why should we marry? What are the importance of marriage as Christians, as in a society? Why should we marry?
First of
guy,
all,
yes, ma'am.
it's not everybody who should marry. I think we should get that right.
Hey.
There are some people who will never marry.
Hey,
Don't ask me why.
Okay, I'll ask you.
God's mind is not our mind. There are some people that God has brought onto this earth who would not marry because of it may be what God wants them to do.
Exactly.
Some also, it may be because of their nature build up, marriage will not work for them.
Okay.
So these are the reasons why some people will not marry. So marriage is not for everybody.
Please don't send any question. Don't send me any tests. He said don't ask why. So you're not asking why.
So,
just keep it, please.
Some people, what God is going to use them to do, God will prefer, and it will be better for them to stay single.
To stay single.
I don't know how many of you know Reverend Joshua, what's he called? Nigeria, Joshua Selman.
Suleiman.
Reverend Joshua Selman in Nigeria. I think he's 40 something. He's not married.
Okay.
And according to him some years ago, that he decided not to marry because the kind of things he wants to do, he realized that if he marries, it will derail him.
Okay.
So there are some people that God has set apart.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Catherine Place to. I'm not talking about Catherine Place.
No. He said that.
That some people, yes. But please, don't say that you want to do it in your own strength. That one is not God. You yourself, you want to do it. Don't go and blame God.
Don't go and blame God.
But there are some that God has set apart that will not marry and do God's work. And there are some that will marry, but the marriages will not work because of some character trait that they haven't worked on.
So this one, the other time we talk about it leads to divorce and the marriage will break. Okay.
Exactly. So marriage is not for everybody, but marriage is a beautiful thing, and any young man or young woman should look forward to it because God Himself knows that it is not good for man to be alone, and God Himself has said that for so many reasons a man will leave the family. So marriage is good. Every young man, every young woman, you should desire to marry.
All right, so now we have desire to marry and we are in the marriage. What things in marriages will tell me that indeed God is blessing this marriage? What am I going to experience? People say that there are blessings in marriage. I don't know the type of blessings that they see. Whether if you are poor and you get married, you become rich, or I don't know. But man, can you throw more light on that aspect? What are the benefits when a man and a woman come together in God's way to marry? What are some of the benefits?
I like the in God's way that you put, because if you do not marry the right person, it can be hell. If you make a mistake in your marriage, you had better not marry, because the choice you make determines a lot of things. You want happiness in marriage, you want prosperity in marriage, you want comfort, joy and peace in marriage. To a large extent, it depends on the person you marry. Because if you do not marry somebody who thinks the same way as you, who shares the same values as you, then you're going to have conflicts. And therefore, the person you marry is really a determining factor. There are lots of benefits in marriage.
Okay, now tell us some.
One of the benefits is companionship. And a lot of people marry for companionship. The companionship I'm talking about is having somebody who, not for sex only, somebody who you can talk to, somebody who can comfort you, somebody who you can share your joys and your sorrows with, somebody who can encourage you, somebody you can grow with. And I tell people that marriage gets better with age. So if you marry and after 5 years, you are still where you started, there's something wrong with your marriage. Because marriage gets better with age. Reason being that when you marry, you start knowing each other. And if really the God factor is in there, and you marry the right person, you give and take, work on each other, that by the third, fourth year, you began to know your differences and things, you are compromising, you are working on your shortcomings and things, and improving the marriage. So that is why I say marriage gets better with age. So companionship is one of the benefits, and it's a huge benefit, because if you have a good companion, it's going to lead to other things. It's going to lead to the way your perception about life as a whole. So this companion is going to help you to mold your lives. Some people have said that their spouses have made so much great impact on them that their characters have changed. So marriage is also builds character. Marriage builds character. And marriage also can actually prosper you. If you marry a good spouse and you are in tune with the spouse, and the spouse is helping you in all aspects of things, it can prosper you, not just in your work as in money, but in good health and sound mind. Because you need peace of mind to even do that work.
Exactly.
You go into a wrong marriage, you are fighting so much, you have no peace of mind. So the prosperity is not just in money in your pocket, but in every aspect of the world. Most times we talk about prosperity as in money. Yes, money is prosperity. Of course, if you don't have a stable marriage, you won't have a peace of mind to work to earn your money.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so we are still here. Mom is hosting us in this place. We're talking about marrying in God's way, how our marriage can grow in God's way. Last time we spoke about divorce. Now we are talking about the benefit and the beauty about marriage. I'll go for this quick break. When I return, we'll continue our discussion. But I just want you to know that in case you just join us, we are talking about how to marry in marriage in God's way. The beauty about marriage, that you who have decided not to marry because of abuse, you that have decided to marry not to marry because of broken out or something, your mind will change for you to get to it and fast track your process of getting married, because it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Unless what Mom said, that not all will marry in that word celibacy. If you don't have the spirit of celibacy, please, this is not for you. But there are people who God has set apart not to marry, and they are there. They are there, but not those people who have it in mind that, Charlie, because of ABC, they won't marry again. I'll talk about it more when we return. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When praises go up, His glory surely comes down. Come join Heavenly Jewels Chorale for a lifetime experience. It's Ayayinjum 2022. Date Sunday 23rd October 2022. Time 5 p.m. prompt. Theme: Great is Thy Faithfulness. Venue: National Theatre. Just so you know, there'll be a free health screening from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's a night full of praises from grateful hearts. Rate is absolutely free. This event is powered by Think Media Experts and sponsored by Dams Premium Travel and Tours, Antiama Sardine in Tomato Sauce, Citadel Sardine, Jet Medical Services, EJ Enterprise. Media sponsored. June 2022. Be there.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Hope Bible School.
I understand we are created in the likeness of God. God is not a slave. Is it because we have lost our place? That is why we are considered slaves.
Why did Christ have to say he's sanctifying himself? Did he have any sin in him? Because we understood Christ never sinned, right?
Is prayer the way for responding to my suffering?
Why do you think, based on all that we have said, we feel guilty? Okay, we feel guilty. There's this sense of shame when we still sin. Why do you think that we feel shameful?
welcome back from the break. I know that it is getting interesting here and there. So, in case you just joined us and you're watching us, we are discussing marriage in God's way, how beautiful our marriage should be, like the importance and all things that we are talking about. And please, you can share the link to your friends. Those of us who are watching via Facebook, Hope TVGH, share the link to your groups, share the link to your church platform, because we are talking about marriage and everyone needs it. And so that you can also help someone who is at the verge of divorce to revamp the beauty about the marriage and to get on. So we went, before going for the break, we were talking about the importance of marriage and all these things Mom said. We could see the love, we could see the oneness, we could see parenting. Mom's definition of marriage, parenting is part, and it is always beautiful to marry in God's way, just to have the gift of God, children in a marriage, and how the father and the mother, the children, it is always beautiful. We are still in a marriage. But man, there's a problem with the church when it comes to marriage. Marriage, we know it is for family. The father's, the man's side, the woman's side. And in a church, when we want to marry, there are people we need to see. In our church, it is family ministries. You go, you meet them, and the pastor takes over, and the pastor asks, who do you want to counsel? The pastor refer you. But there are churches, some churches that are rather doing the service to couples, those who are ready to marry, than helping them out. Why am I saying this? What is the role of the church when it comes to marriage? What should the church do? How should the church manage newly premarital couples? What should the church do? I don't know, but I want to ask this, and probably the question there I'll add it. What should the church do?
Marriage is strictly between two families, and therefore the church's role is supportive, it's giving guidance, and if they are Christians, ensuring that it must be done in God's way. Because some of the things that traditionally we do are not ethical, are not Christian. For example, if a family is going to give a full scarf of things that the man should bring, it is right, this is what the family wants, but is it practical? Can the young man afford this? And what is the impression you are given? Are you selling your child? If my son is coming to marry from you, and you ask me to bring a dowry of 10,000 Ghana cedis, do you want to sell your child to my son? So this is where the church can come in and let the families know that these children are going to start a new life, and they will need all the money and the support. So things should not be made so rigid as to put them into debt. Because I know some men have gone and taken loans to marry. So this is where the church can come in as the church of the man or the church of the woman. But in all this, the church should not lord it over the families.
Okay.
The church should sit with them and be a guide. They shouldn't take over. I know some churches who take over the marriage ceremony, and the parents of the man and are sitting down like they are visitors who have come. And I think it is bad. Whatever the church is doing, the church should do it in conjunction with the families. The church is there as supportive. The church is there to bring the Christian flavor into it. If there is nothing that is unchristian and everything is going well, the church doesn't have to poke their nose in it. The only thing they do is that they officiate and make sure there's a good premarital counseling.
There's a good premarital counseling. That is another question that bothers a lot of people, young people's mind, and they sometimes they don't find it interesting to even tell the church they want to marry. So the church will see now, then they are good to go. But when it comes to premarital counseling, should it be board of members, or should it be referred to a professional counselor, marital counselor? Which aspect?
Every church has its methods. I won't sit here and say one is good, one is bad, because I don't know the basis for the church, how they arrive at it. But personally, I believe that if you want to offer marriage counseling to two people who are going to get married, it is better not to have too many people offering them the counseling. It will be better to have a couple. I say a couple because there are certain things that are predominantly in the domain of men. And therefore, if a woman is counseling them, the woman might not touch on those sides. But if a couple is counseling them, then they can deal with it. So I say a couple because after all, it's marriage. But the couple that is counseling should be grounded in marriage. How is their own marriage like? Because you cannot bring two people who don't talk to each other in the house, and when they come to church, they are pretending to come and counsel others. They must be proven. The church must know their marriage, because they are going to be these people's role model. They are going to be their role model. So whoever counsels them, but I say it should be a couple, and not one person. It should be a couple. And this pre-marriage counseling, that comes like 2 weeks, bang, 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 they finished. They don't even cover a lot of things, bang, 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 they finished. And they are not even covering things. I think that for any man and woman who come and say, we are going to marry, so when we are telling the church, if they have set dates, I don't counsel them.
Oh, thank you so much.
If you come to me and you've set your date,
thank you
no
so
matter
much.
who directed you to me, you will go.
Thank you so much.
You will go back because it means you made up your mind. If I'm coming to tell you, I'm wasting my time.
Exactly.
Even if you set your date next year, don't come to me. Don't set your date.
We set the date together.
Because I've counseled people who have realized that they won't marry again. And they have not married. So what if they have set their date?
Exactly.
So come to me with no date. And let's go through. Because one of the things I do is to make you people realize whether you are fit for each other. So in the course, if you are not fit for each other, are you prepared to go and work on yourselves or what? So you might go back and say, okay, we need more time or something. But if you fix your date, you are looking towards your date and you won't change it. So I think that they should come without a date. Come with an open mind. And come and hear you. And it should be as practical and as interactive. Interactive as possible. It shouldn't be a lecture. I know a lot of people do lecture where the supposedly counselors go and lecture and lecture and lecture. They take notes and that is it. Part of my premarital counseling, I even meet the parents.
Okay.
Part of my premarital counseling, I meet the parents of the two people. We even do a medical exam. We do sickling. You know, a lot of us Ghanaians do not take that thing serious. Because you need to know your sickling. If an S is marrying an S, there are problems. I'm not saying don't marry. But we are doing it for me to know your genotype, for me to brief you on it. If you decide you are going to marry, you know what you are going to get. But I'm not going to keep quiet. Then when you marry, you say, I didn't know that I was an S, my wife was an S. Now we have had a child who is an S, and we are having problems and so on and so forth. I didn't know this, I didn't know that. No. We even do an HIV, everything. I don't open the thing. The HIV, you will open. If you open, you've been educated, everything. So some people don't even know their blood group. So we do a medical exam, so you know all these things. You're not going to marry a woman. Let's say on the second night of your marriage, she collapses. The ambulance comes and picks her and they say she needs blood. You are now going to say, I don't know her blood type, well, let's go and check. Every minute counts. So if you know all those things, it's important. I meet with the families first separately before they come together, because it is a family thing. You need to engage them also. So yes, the church should be involved, but the church should know where they stop. The church should know where they stop and what they're supposed to do. And the church should know that they are not in charge of their marriage. It's a family.
The family is in charge of the marriage, it's not the church. Our church, we need to give counsel to the couples, counsel them, as Mom is saying. We should educate newly couples who want to get together as husband and wife. We should educate them and give them the guidelines of what they need to go through, and so that their marriages will be beautiful and to be in God's way. Now we know the church's role. The marriage is from the family. The church, we are witnesses. We are not the drivers of marriage.
The church
We are-
is guiding to ensure
Exactly.
that because they are Christians, they do
Okay.
things that are pleasing to God.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, ma, with what you just said, I'm a brand here, I'm a babawa. I've seen that guy, I've seen that lady. We want to get together as husband and wife. In God's way, what are the steps? What are the process that we, as Bema and Oba, what is the process? What should we go through? What is the step by step? What should we do?
I think that the two of you, if the two of you are Christians, then you should be mindful of the fact that is it a union from God? Are you marrying just because she's beautiful, he's handsome, or you feel that this is the woman God has given, this is the man God has given? So seek God's face. Seek God's face about your marriage. Because you see, God reveals to people. But I always tell people that you think that the two of you are in the thing, God will not reveal it to you and go and reveal it to somebody else come and tell you. Yes, God can reveal somebody to come and tell you. But before that person comes, you already would also have been prompted. So the person just comes to confirm. So you, the two of you, it's important that as your relation goes on, you seek God's face. That is this truly the man, is this truly the woman that, Lord, you want me to marry? If you are certain this is the person God wants you to marry, then be careful not to run ahead of God. I know some people that say, because I'm very sure the person God wants me to marry, from now onwards, we can do things like we are married because God wants me to marry. And before they even marry, they start sleeping together. Some of them will even move to go and live with the other. That is not godly.
So when we see God's face first, we should refrain from that. It happens in movies a lot.
Yeah, you should refrain from that, because the fact that God says to you, even if God said it clearly to you, that this is the man you should marry, this is the woman you should marry, it is not license for you
Exactly.
to start sleeping together or to move into each other's house. No. The devil doesn't like marriages. The devil attacks marriages. And therefore, if you give the devil a foothold, he will come and destroy your marriage. Because the Lord says, this is the person for you. And you go and sleep with each other. Now, going forward, the devil can manipulate you to do all kinds of things because the devil has gotten you on that side. What joy does it bring that you haven't slept with a woman, you marry, and then the first night you are sleeping with a woman, the joy of knowing that you were able to hold yourself and now, and it's an honor to the two of you, and it's also glorifying to God. So after this, you are convinced that you should marry, then you have to go and tell your parents.
Okay, family comes in, parents comes in.
Some people do the pastor before the parents. Which other way, there's nothing wrong. Pastor or parents, there's nothing wrong. But don't do pastor first or pastor should go and tell parents. It is disrespectful. Don't tell your pastor first and then the pastor goes to tell the parents. It is so disrespectful.
Okay.
And if you don't take care, your parents will be like, okay. And they won't tell it to you, but now they're waiting for you and your pastor. Even if you tell the pastor before your parents, don't let the pastor go and tell them. You tell your parents. The pastor can later on come and talk. Yeah. There's no way that you cannot tell your parents and somebody has to go and tell your parents. What is it that you can't say somebody has to go and tell? Once you inform your parents, then the necessary steps begin to be taking place, like, so we need to go and see the other side. So a date is fixed to go and see, because in our tradition, what the elderly say is that because you want to marry this girl, the family should know that now this is somebody you are interested with, you are moving with this person, so that if somebody else comes, they can say, no, our daughter already has somebody, so we are sorry. Or if they are looking for their daughter, they can't find their daughter, they can call you.
Yes, where is she?
And ask you, where is our daughter? Because now
you have come to
you have come to introduce yourself. Yeah. After that, If your parents say, yes, we agree, then they go and get a list of things to do, and then they fix a date for the things to be done. It's a collaborative thing. If you fix your date and it's not convenient for your parents, they have all the they have all the right to negotiate with you. It's a matter of negotiation and collaborating to make sure that the time fix and everything suits each other. Especially now that the young men and women know the kind of marriage they want and everything. They have it all planned before they go and tell their parents. But these steps are important. The two of you see God's face. You tell your parents, you tell your pastor, parents meet parents, dates are set, and then.
Beautiful. And then the process continues. Mom, I love the fact that you said they shouldn't quickly join in sleeping together. Now everybody knows that I've introduced him to my parents. I've introduced her to my parents. And the church sometimes churches keep quiet. Churches wouldn't talk about it because, we know that they are going to marry. We know that they are going to marry. We should refrain from that. It is not the best. It's not going to help the marriage in God's way. It will lead into distraction sometime to come. So let us also be mindful about what all these things. The fact that introduction has been done doesn't give you the license, as Mom said, that we need to get together or cohabitate. It is against God's will. Let us be mindful when it comes to that. Now, everything is set and done.
But excuse me, do you know why some churches rush to get you married quickly? Some churches say that the reason why, when they see that two young people are getting close, they encourage them to marry quickly. They want to avoid you cohabiting, sleeping together. So they say, as long as they see that you are getting along, they quickly arrange and you get married. It has its good and bad sides because maybe they haven't known each other very well. But the thinking about it is to prevent you starting to sleep together. Yeah.
Okay, that's why
they quickly will say, then get married.
Then it's not helpful.
So that's the cause of the divorce. But the people haven't known themselves very well. They were rushed into marriage because the Asofo were afraid that they'll start sleeping with each other. So let's not let them start fornicating. So go and marry.
So when all these things are done, then the families agree to each other. Okay, then you meet a counselor. Don't go to meet the counselor with a date. A lot of people do that, and it's not right. Just go meet the counselor and plan for the ceremony, plan for everything together, and tell the counselor, let the counselor plan with you the date that will be convenient or conducive for you, so that
you can tell your counselor a date you want. But what I'm saying is that don't go to a counselor and say, like, don't go this afternoon and say, we are in June. I want to marry by the end of June. I want to marry on July 15th.
Okay.
So you are rushing the counselor into it.
Okay.
You want to marry.
Yeah.
But counseling first.
Exactly.
And let's see how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And man, the last question before I draw the curtains down. Should marriage, should counseling, premarital counseling, should it always precede marriage, or a couple, young people can begin counseling before entering into the stages where it can get them together as husband and wife, so that if they are not compatible when the counseling is going, it will be easier for them to part ways than to fix the date as we are saying. And the counselor wouldn't talk about a lot of things, and they will rush through the counseling, and when they get married, the first 3 months, there's a problem. Can we have an extended counseling even before we will say that we want to marry? If myself and the lady, we seem it fits that, okay, we want to marry, but can we meet a counselor before even we get into the areas where now that we need to go for list or something of that sort? Can that be encouraged?
Ideally, you should do counseling before you go for a list. But because sometimes the list shows the lady, the man's seriousness. So the woman will prefer that go for a list before. But I say ideally do the counseling before. But make sure that at the time of counseling, there's a high probability of you getting married. Otherwise, you are wasting your time with counseling. Because if you are not sure that you want to marry, why do you go for counseling? You go for counseling when you got into a stage in your relationship that you think and you know that you are good for each other and therefore you want to marry. So by the time you go for counseling, you should have it in your mind that you want to marry. If you get what I mean.
Yes, exactly.
If you don't have that in your mind, then there's no need for counseling. Because why are you going for counseling?
Okay.
So you go to counseling when you've gotten to the point where you know that this is the person I want to lead my life with. Then you go for the counseling.
Then you go for the counseling.
Yeah.
My guys out there, it has been fun. It has been interesting conversation. There are more to it, and we wouldn't bother your ears and your eyes. But if you want aftermath discussion, if you want any counseling after this program, I said the number to call is 0559 535554, 0559 535554. I can connect you to a counselor. I can link you up to who I think may be helpful to you, so that at least what you are planning to do will go on. Ma, your final message when it comes to marrying in God's way, what do you tell the people out there, those who are yet to get into it and those who are in it?
For those who are yet to get in the marriage, I say marriage is a beautiful thing, but there's a lot of work. And if you are not prepared to work at your marriage, then don't go in. Because marriage is beautiful, but you make it beautiful. And go in knowing that you are not perfect. Your partner is also not perfect. But be ready to give and take. Be ready to explore other ways of doing things, and be ready to listen, and be ready to forgive and sacrifice. For those already in marriage, I'll say that don't relax. Marriage is work. And the moment you relax, the devil takes over and things deteriorate. I would also say that keep the communication channel going. Unfortunately, we are not God. None of us knows each other's head. So please communicate.
Exactly.
Love unconditionally.
Exactly.
And those already in it, sacrifice is one great thing about marriage. So sacrifice.
Thank you so much, Mom. We should keep the conversation going, trend going. It is the fuel to a beautiful marriage, or marrying in God's way. This is where we will draw our curtains for this evening's program, marrying in God's way. It is beautiful for us to marry. It is beautiful for us to be joined together as husband and wife. It is beautiful to stay that in God's way. But the devil doesn't like it that way, so he will try to bring issues. If we want to excel in marriage, we should work. As he said, we shouldn't relax. We should work and keep the communication channel going, because that is the only key that will let our marriages work. Those who are yet to get into that, let's take our time, relax. We shouldn't rush into it. Let's allow God's time to be the best. And marriage is not by your time, but it's God's time. I want you to keep these words in mind. If because of one way or the other, if because of certain things you think you can't marry, you can still call the line. You think you don't want to because of issue ABC. By the grace of God, we can help out for you to be okay. So 0559535554, 0559535554. This is the number that if you want us to come to your church, if you want us to come to, and if you want to invite Wounds of the Heart, we are ready to accept that invitation to come to your place to also to record with your church audience or with whoever it is, and we'll be grateful for that. Thank you, Slick Afrik, for the fabric that you always give me. You always let me look good in the fabric that you give. Misartha, Matilda Misartha, God bless you for your time and for hosting us here. We know we'll come again. We are not done with you yet. We'll come again, and we pray it will be very beautiful. And please, you out there, the one who always keep this program going, God bless you for your time, for watching this program. And I say, when you're saying a prayer, say some for us, because we need the prayers of those we love. Until then, I've been your regular host, and the name is Pastor Daniel Abedu Bidiaba. I'm out.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love.
Mechia Ubibia or Chevy, a brain, a friend Lydia in Chirapinty. My brother, ya or T. Ewo, problem kakra. I found my son out on TSM. I did not happen for 4 years now. Now, quite far so happy year was or day, Nana Sonny and or day a true comma or day, sir, a baby brony be a good son. Na every time I dey go na sono ye send ye wo na na sono tie bio nti sesi a me mo ka say me nwe on tekasa say wo beka bibia manate a agi say ohwe wano na watimi ehu say asem we na wo pese wo ka ana so say woni ne be chate wo phone so ansana watimi ate ade a wo pese woni ne ka na say wate ase na yehwe sika surgery operation na obeye no sika omobeji no ebro yeso enti yesre obi bia a wo hwe yese munhu ye mo kakra bia a wo beni bia ensa wonyamne na momboaye se be ya yebetimi enye sika na a doctor for ehwehwe for the surgery and am sa yeso ama ahoɔden a na me nua no ɛwɔ ɛmanyame adwuma ɔtemapa ɛne ahokeka na ɔwɔ nyame adwuma because ɔte ɔtonwom pa but ɛnam sɛ no na so ne ntimi ɛnti asɛm ntimi saa nneɛma no nyinaa wɔntimi nyɛ bio.
Name is William Frampon. I have been diagnosed with bilateral profound sensorineural hearing loss and I need to undergo a surgery, cochlear implant surgery, which is very expensive. The cost is $52,000 and I need help. So families and friends, please, can you help us with any amount you can and God will bless you.
The mobile money number no edia that's so ye Lydia and Chua Appington. Number near 0243 065 949 0243 065 949. Account number Eda ye susunu eye NIB Bank, National Investment Bank. Account number near 2007023601901. Misaya Sisudu 2007023601901. Nti mesre obi bia say uhu me video ya mesre ko wacho manyame ka wakoma na kitwe bia obenya bia na yenya yentimi mboa boa na yentimi mfa mboa mimi.
Doctor to baby, mama no nyare wasu to me pa.
Afei na oyalefuo bia nya anidaso sa na yale ye befure ne so. Wo ebra ode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic. Oyalefuo ba ho na wo hye ne ebra empa ho. Abubuafo nante anifrafo sna panie. Stroke, diabetes, pressure na yare enkae ne nyina. Aye entatia case. Doctor said ye wo ana wasie no nko na ontumi. Fakakari baje wayare sa ewo kumase ebuakwa agogo. Oyalefuo bia kai se udimafo eye medimafo heba clinic. Doctor time that's all.
Uti yankabra mentwempwen na yase. Uti yankafra ahumaiso 0244 774 282.
Hope Channel, changing lives.